Welcome to Oncology Revolution, where science meets care to transform the cancer journey. We explore evidence-based strategies to enhance quality of life, promote longevity, and empower patients and professionals to thrive beyond cancer.
Welcome to the Oncology Revolution Podcast. My name is Raquel Maris. I'm an occupational therapist and project coordinator at the European School of Lifestyle Oncology. Today, we have two guests who are reshaping cancer care through movement and meaning. Petra Thaller is the founder and president of Outdoor Against Cancer, and an international NGO promoting a holistic, nature-based approach to health and after her own breast cancer diagnosis. She co-developed the evidence-based 4x4 method for people affected by cancer and also serves as the editor-in-chief of the journal Physical Activity, Exercise and Cancer. And she is the visionary behind two EU for Health projects under Europe's Beating Cancer Plan. Now, let me introduce Rūdolfs Cešeiko. He is an exercise physiologist, certified occupational therapist, I was going to say it, and lecturer at Riga University, the same university he got his PhD from. He leads the Exercise Oncology Clinic in Latvia and is a pioneer in applying the 4x4 method in oncology care. He's also part of the International Outdoors Against Cancer team, contributing his scientific expertise in structured physical activity for cancer prevention and survivorship. Thank you so much for being here today. Together, they form a powerful team blending lived experience, clinical research, and advocacy. Welcome, Petra and Rūdolfs.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
Well, thank you so much. It's a privilege for us also to have you both. Let's start at the beginning. How did your paths first cross?
I was invited to be part as a speaker in a conference in Riga, Latvia. And so it came that the organizer connected Rūdolfs and myself to speak there. At the end of the day, they didn't want to listen to the topic physical activity or structured exercise in cancer. So we both stayed in contact, and this is how our journey together began.
Yeah, exactly. And since then, we kind of mutually got this direction, including exercise as a part of the cancer story. And we've been in touch since then. And now we are a very good team.
Well, I can say that you are both a very good team, yes. Petra, you come from advocacy and lived experience, and Rūdolfs from more of a scientific background. What made the collaboration work so well so far?
Rūdolfs, you start now. Come on.
No problems. I think, first of all, it's important to perhaps refresh a little bit that we both share our personal cancer story. So therefore, we are quite familiar with all the setting and the situation that cancer patient and cancer survivor face. And surprisingly is that exercise or the physical activity played quite significant role in our cancer journey. And that led to great continuation of our work that we do today. And I think the strength of both of us and coming together and sharing a one mission and then one vision is the very a broad aspect of directions that we focus on. And as you said, exercise from the scientific perspective, and then the Petra's energy and understanding of physical activity and outdoor activities, these things combine together very, very well. And therefore, putting all these aspects together, we can understand on a first-hand experience and adding a scientific background, what kind of structured exercise regime might be optimal for the person that goes through the different stages of the cancer. Either it's during the treatment or post-treatment or in a survivorship stage, or just using as a preventative medicine. And I think the synergy that we have is wonderful, and therefore we continue to do our work.
Well, and thank you for your work. Petra, let's rewind to your diagnosis. How did it lead you to create Outdoor Against Cancer?
For me, it was, I don't know, I was searching for something special in my life. I always worked as an editor-in-chief. I presented at TV, so I did all these not so important things in my life. And I've got the diagnosis when I came back from an expedition in Papua New Guinea. I climbed one of the 7 summits, the Carson's Pyramid. And when I came back, they gave me the diagnosis of 5 malignant tumors in my right breast. So I was in a close exchange with a medical doctor, and he said, well, Petra, you can continue your sport activities. So I did it. I went ski mountaineering and race biking, not the same speed as I've done that before, but I've done that. And during one ski tour event I was joining in, a friend of mine had the idea, yeah, we could go on ski mountaineering with cancer patients. And I said, stop, I have to get healthy first. And but 3 days after, I did a deep research and I found it OAC. That's it. During my chemotherapy.
That's an amazing story. So I can see that physical activity played a huge role in your own recovery. How did it help emotionally and even socially?
Socially, it was during my cancer journey, there were no offers at all. So I have to self-organize everything with my own family. So I did it with some friends and with my daughter and my son, who is now working as a sports scientist for Outdoor Against Cancer. So we organized everything ourselves. And when I got the diagnosis and I decided to be physically active, I told them, if I don't want to go out of my bed, you have to take me out of my bed and go for a walk or for a run with me. And they did it. And it worked really very, very well. And also with the Comprehensive Cancer Center in Munich, I was already collaborating with them from the very beginning because they saw for me, everything was much easier than it was for other breast cancer patients. So they started a close collaboration with me. And that is how it came that OAC was founded, and we have now already a 10-year journey behind us and a lot of time in front of us.
That's amazing. Rūdolfs, your journey also began with a personal experience with cancer. How did that shape your path into exercise physiology and oncology care?
Yeah, thank you, Petra, for your story. It's really empowering. And my story goes back to 2010, and I was in summer in July, and then I must check the date. It might be something around these dates. And that summer changed my life completely. And now looking back, I can really say for a better. And that was really the shift. I had to start everything from the scratch, from the beginning. And before my diagnosis, I was involved quite a lot in track and field. I did decathlon, so the physical activity was part of my life, movement, exercise, and competition as well. So movement was really what helped me a lot previously. So, and once my treatment started, and I was diagnosed with the stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and once my treatment started, I started my rehabilitation studies at the Riga Student University, occupational therapy. And pretty much at the same time, I started my chemotherapy course. And I remember the conversation with the doctor that I had. So what about physical activity? Can I be physically active? Can I keep my activity level? What should I do? Is there any recommendations? And surprise, I didn't get no answer. And the answer was just don't do it. Focus on the treatment. but my character is a little bit different. I tried to develop or implement different strategies and kind of test myself a little bit. And I started with light intensity aerobic endurance physical activities like walking, treadmill walking, light intensity jogging, and light intensity strength training. And I remember, like now, I went to the gym right after the chemotherapy, and I started to feel better, better, and better. Not only physically, mostly mentally. And that was like my active meditation. And since those first experiences that I experienced going through exercise sessions, I knew 100% that I'm gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna go through all the story together with exercise. Exercise is gonna help me, and I did it. And I finished my treatment. I felt relatively good. I was able to maintain my muscle mass. I felt slight decrease in aerobic endurance capacity, and together with my studies in occupational therapy, kind of opened a completely new direction, perspective of health, and treatment and oncology, and the wheel started to roll, and the next steps continued after that. Yeah, so I was very fortunate to continue physical activity during my treatment.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Very impactful and empowering. I want to ask, it's more a personal question actually, because I'm an occupational therapist also. So I wanted to know if you feel like being an occupational therapist helped you to look at yourself more holistically and try to find other approaches, other kind of strategies to help you through your treatment.
Yes, 100%. And as you know, the occupational therapists, we have a couple of paradigms that we follow, and in the core is let's say the spirituality. So the holistic approach to situation person are in, and the health issues. That is the holistic approach, and definitely that helped me a lot. And I think the occupational therapist is a wonderful specialist, wonderful healthcare professional that can guide person through these kind of experiences, including oncology, right? And because we are specialists in activities, and why not to be specialist also in physical activities, right? So that helped me a lot, and together with my personal cancer story and these studies going through occupational therapy just changed my thinking and mindset a lot. So I think occupational therapy is wonderful, wonderful for this setting.
Thank you so much. Now, for both of you, what are some shared struggles or moments of resilience that shaped you, who you are today?
Well, if you're telling people the truth, you're always struggling. Why shouldn't you be struggling during cancer therapy? Of course, I was struggling as well, and I think you, Rudolfs, you were struggling, right? So there also come up, sometimes there are coming up the questions, why me? For me, it was not that surprising. My mom already had cancer, breast cancer, at an early age, 38. I was already 53, so this was totally fine. My mom now is 86 and she is still alive, so I'm not scared. No, not at all. Struggling for me was like if you don't taste anything anymore, or if your thumbs and your fingers and your toes you don't feel. So polyneuropathy was one thing I was not very happy about, and some digestive things, but really struggling, no, not at all. And I think this is due to that people, sports women or men, are more resilient, perhaps. So you know how pain feels if you want to be better, either when you are climbing or ski mountaineering or playing tennis or whatever, volleyball, basketball. You know that the only way that you can be better is to suffer a little bit. So you know what I mean? And I just dealt with suffering in a way. And I decided and I promised myself that I will continue working. And I did that. So I had people working for me who supported me, but in a way, I continued my daily work. I went food shopping. I cooked for my children, although they were already 18 and 17. But I did it. I continued a normal life. And that helped me a lot not to struggle that much. Yeah. But I think the resilience which comes from being a sportswoman was one of the most important things who helped me through this time.
Thank you so much for sharing. Rudolf?
Yeah, it's very similar to Petra's story. I think my physical activity background and being a track and field athlete that kind of prepared my body for the upcoming treatment, but it was not easy and it was challenging. But I made a decision at the very beginning. I didn't view it as a cancer. I was not identified with that, and I didn't see myself as a cancer patient. Even though I went to the treatment and the chemotherapy, I made a clear decision that I'm gonna win and I will succeed. I'm gonna go through treatment, and I stayed socially active. I was physically active. I did my studies. I didn't have a time to think a lot about different things. So my life just continued, but at a different level. The quality of my life changed completely. My thinking towards myself, decisions that I made was the ones that supported me, and I didn't see it as a fight, and because from the one level the cancer was part of me, so why should I fight against myself? But I knew there was some problems that led to that, and now it is time for a longer rehabilitation, and that was my mentality. And it was not easy, of course, when the treatment didn't go as planned. The results of examination wasn't so promising, but I believed for a good result. I did exercise, which helped me mentally and physically, as I said, and continue. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but looking back, of course, it changed a lot in me for the better.
I want to add something. It's also like it was not easy for me as well. And what I recognized when I got this diagnosis and I went into social media, I saw "fuck cancer" and all these super aggressive words, and I decided to let the cancer into my life. So I wanted to become friend with the cancer. You know what I mean? So if you have friends close to you, they cannot destroy you. So this was my point of view with this cancer journey. Yeah, but it's far away from easy, of course.
Yeah, I totally agree. It would be great if we would met each other 10 or 15 years earlier, Petra, but because we share a very similar thinking and attitude, and I think that is still, at least in a part where I live in Latvia, that this dogma about the cancer still kind of is quite negative, and the conclusion is straightforward. But as we know, things are changing a lot, and exactly, you should understand that the situation is not easy. It's serious, but it's part of your story. It's part of your body. So let's take steps, actions to help treatment, your physical body, your mind, and the results will come.
May I say an additional thing? Sorry, but all the ideas are coming up now. What I decided also was that I just came back from an expedition, and I was dreaming of going there to Papua New Guinea, where nobody's living. and when I came back and got the diagnosis, I said, if I die now, it's totally fine. I have done a lot of crazy things in my life. And this was the moment when I said, okay, I can go now, but I will not. So I think it's very important that people are living their own life all the time.
Yeah, sure. And I think the lifestyle changes and the right attitude during the treatment, or also once the treatment has been completed successfully. Let's hope for that. It's very, very important to continue to feel yourself, to understand your individual needs, and to fully engage, because that itself is a therapy.
Yeah.
These were so impactful insights. Thank you both. Let's dive deeper into movement as medicine. As you said, both of you were very active during treatment. What kinds of or what types of exercise helped you the most during the treatment?
Rudolf, you go ahead.
Yeah. Exercise nowadays is viewed as a medicine, although as my great colleague Joshua Thaller is saying, and we have very great discussions about that, that exercise actually is the natural part of our being, and we have evolved because of the physical activity. So it's great that the science and the results from the clinical trial show that there is a significant effect of structured exercise regime. So going back to my cancer story and what I did, aerobic endurance. So most of the time I did indoors. I used treadmill and elliptical training machine, and I used light, comfortable intensity, so that I kind of felt that after 5 or 10 minutes, when my body started to heat up, I started to feel much more better, that the sense and the feeling of the chemotherapy slowly is decreasing, and I felt better, more alive. My thoughts cleared up, and I started this inner conversation with myself. So and I tried to go outdoors as much as possible. In Latvia, we are very fortunate with a lot of green spaces, with the forests, lakes, rivers, and I went to the woods. I went outside. I walked in the woods. I did light intensity jogging in the woods, and talking with myself. That is the one thing. And the second thing, of course, is the strength training, and especially at that age, the muscles and the muscle mass is kind of important, and I didn't want to lose my muscles, and I did strength training for the large muscle groups. So I didn't have any clue about specific intensities, specific repetitions. I just used the weight that I felt it's a little bit challenging, but I felt the pump in my muscles, and that's it. And I tried to do that kind of activities at least 3 times per week. So that was the story. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. For me, it was like I'm a woman from the outdoors. So what I always try to do is, my house is close to the river in the city of Munich. So I went running beside the river. Then we have this fitness parkour where I could do some strength training. And the most important thing is that I got my first treatment in March 2015. And this was a high season when I could go ski mountaineering. So I went ski mountaineering, And the medical doctors, they told me, you should not go to enclosed rooms. So I avoided the fitness studio, but I went to the cinema, to be honest. So I did some things I shouldn't have done, but I never went ill. So for me, it was obviously through the physical activity training. So I did also endurance, of course, strength training, but not at home with weights, but not in a studio. And I was crazy enough I thought at the end of the chemotherapy, after 6 months, I decided I want to do a triathlon. I started,
Wow.
but I
And did
never
you?
did. No, I never did it. So I went swimming, and the medical doctors, they told me, you cannot go to a public swimming pool, but I did it. I thought, okay, if I die on that, then I die on that. And I went race biking and running. So this was the crazy part of my physical activity stuff. But at the end of the day, everything I did was outdoors, sometimes indoors at home with a weight and kettlebells, so the strength training, and nothing very important, but it was my journey. It was like I'm one of these people who wants to go with the head through the wall. If you're telling me you are not allowed to do that, I do it. I did it during chemotherapy as well. The medical doctors, they told me, you cannot go by car to the treatment. So I said, they told me I cannot go by car to the treatment, but so I used the race bike. And it went well. It's not allowed. They recommend if you have an accident, it's not allowed. So people don't do that, but I did it. And it was great for me. I remember that I smelled everything. So all my senses were super awake. So I smelled when the grass was cut, or I saw the bees flying. I never recognized things like that. But that time my senses were high open. So this was just, in a way, great.
Yeah, and see, it should not be rocket science all the time. We didn't know what to do at the beginning, right? Even though it was many years ago, and information at that time was very little or none. Just this the importance of movement and being outdoors is what shaped all the difference, right? And I think this is encouragement itself for the others. Just make a decision that you're gonna be physically active, and solution will come. And going back to the gym, I did go to the gym during my chemotherapy, and the reason why is because of the music, meeting other people, because I wanted to be in a community. I can engage. I met friends, listen to music, do my exercise. That helped a lot. So there are a lot of good possibilities, and you see that the strength training goes through our both stories. That is important.
That is super important. And I want to ask, focusing on what research says about exercise for cancer patients, how do you implement that in your clinic?
Now we are talking. Wow, yeah. And the answer is structured exercise regime. And my story started to develop quite rapidly. I finished my exercise physiology studies in Norway, then came back to Latvia, and together with professors from Norway, they helped me to go through my PhD studies. So in a clinic, based on my experience in education, and now working together with the OAC, which I am very happy about, we have a quite clear structure. So what might work the best, even though there are not the best methods, not the best principles, but thanks to the science, we have a good picture. What can we offer? And then what kind of results we can expect. So an exercise oncology clinic here in Latvia, We have a structured framework that we follow, and approximately 100 patients go through the clinic every week, and they are in different stages, either right before the diagnosis or during the first weeks after the diagnosis, during the chemotherapy, radiation therapy, pre-surgery, post-surgery, survivorship stage, and so on. First, we start with evaluation. Then significant part is aerobic endurance training, structured aerobic endurance training. And the second, of course, is the strength training. There are certain principles based from exercise physiology perspective that we follow. And as we know, the cancer is different and in the different localizations, and people are diagnosed at a different age, and then there might be metastasis. So in every case, we try to adapt based on exercise physiology, the structured exercise approach. And and people understand that. They understand why we are doing these things, why specifically we want to reach that heart rate, or we want to lift that much weight. Why do we want to do it 2 or 3 times per week? Is it possible to do right after the chemotherapy or during the radiation therapy, immunotherapy, and so on? So it's a lot of educational work, and together with the team, as we have with the OSC, we combine practical thing, the educational thing, and then the person understand why it is necessary. And of course, during the exercise, they can feel the benefits. So it's a quite structured plan that we approach.
Well, that's amazing. And I want to ask Petra, how is it working at the Outdoor Against Cancer?
How it is to work for my own NGO? Cool. I think I can. For me personally, it's like I can live my dream. I can help other people's, and it supports my own vision of a physical active person. And when you ask my employees whether they like to work for me, I think yes, they do. As our team is existing out of medical doctors, sport physiologists, sports scientists, but we have also a graphic designer, and we have 2 filmmakers from from Bosnia and Herzegovina who are doing all our documentaries or videos. We have done one video for a European project, for example. It's called Choose the Healthy Way, about the 4 OAC key pillars. Perhaps I will send you the link later on. And those guys are, they love what they are doing for us. And so if your people love what they are doing, you also love your work because you're doing a good job, I think. So it makes sense. For me, I can say when cancer came, it was just like a gift, because from that moment on, I knew I can do something with all the things I know to do, which makes sense and help the entire people living in Europe or wherever. So for me, it's great to work for OEC.
Yeah, wow, it's beautiful, yeah, and yeah, great. And as a profound member of OIC, I can say and support it. It's been it's a wonderful story and a wonderful journey, and that we can incorporate the exercise regime that we have, and we do it indoors, and we do it also outdoors, and where we can reach a larger audience, and we are the bridge between the scientific world, between the medical world, and to the community. And I'm very happy that we are going to the right direction. And the most important thing is that patients, the patient organizations, and the doctors can see this significant impact on the results of the treatment.
What we are doing is also, and this was one of my personal missions, was when I did the first research in this field, there were already 2,000 studies out there. Physical activity helps you and blah, blah, blah. And there were practically no offers for cancer patients. And we started from the very beginning, cancer patients, family and friends, because you need the community around you. So I felt that when I started my cancer journey, I knew that some friends and my children, my family, these are the ones who can support me. So if you are really alone, if you go to the municipality of Munich, for example, we have 1,400 to 1.4 to 1.6 million people living in Munich. 700,000 are living alone. What about those people who are living alone? They need kind of a community where they can go and where they get the support. And this is, I think this is the most important thing. And what my personal mission was, and at the beginning, a lot of scientists were laughing about that, is to translate knowledge into practical action. You know, what does knowledge and science help you if you don't have, how you say that, offers where people can join and where people can live all their things? And when it comes to physical activity, we know exactly the results. It strengthens the immune system. Rudolfs helped me. It makes you happier. So all the treatment outcomes are better. So my question was from the very beginning, why is this not part of the treatment plan? Yeah, this is the question at all, because now we have this structured exercise 4x4 training. We have in plan, or it's already ready, but not ready to publish. It's Introduction to Exercise and Cancer, for example, for health professionals, but also a version for patients. So where can patients go? Where can patients or survivors, let me say it like this, cancer survivors, where can they go and do all these cancer literacy thing? Health literacy is the future. Yeah, we cannot count on treatment all the time. We are also responsible for our own life. So we have to take our own life into our hands and act accordingly.
Exactly, 100%. And as I come from the scientific background, I noticed that relatively early that these studies, they are wonderful. The results that we can read, they are amazing. So where can I go? Where patient can go and experience these great results? And often it was, well, that is the problem, and therefore this is the huge initiative and great direction that we are going to, in an easy, accessible way. How can we translate these results, show that the patients and the community can benefit from? And the recent years that we are working together has shown that it is possible, and more people are engaging. And it's great, Petra, that you mentioned that there are many people who go through the treatment alone, and these exercise sessions that we organize outdoor, they unite, and people, it's like a therapy for them. Of course, they receive well-structured exercise. There is the nature, there are other people, there is support, there is community engagement, there is fun, jokes, support. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is wow. And sometimes I'm just feel super happy. So that that couple of years ago it was just a vision, and that is reality now. I'm feel very good and very happy.
Congratulations to you both for making that happen, right?
Yeah.
Petra, you've now mentioned the 4x4 training. Let's break it down. What exactly is the 4x4 training?
So the floor is yours, Rudolfs, because you are a scientist.
Yeah, the 4x4 training. Yeah, it is an exercise strategy that has emerged from results, from the clinical results based on exercise physiology. And I had this great privilege to know this program and to understand how it works physiologically when I studied my studies in Norway, and I finished my master's degree. And these great academics, Professor Jan Hoff, Jan Helgerud, Professor Eivind Wang, that been these amazing academics that think a lot about exercise in a different setting, from the athletic performance to different patient populations. And we had a good discussions because it was quite novelty in an oncology setting. How can we integrate the science-based results, science-based exercise strategies in oncology setting? So that was my job to actually do that. And from that, the idea for the PhD research was ready, and we tested, we examined, we did a collaboration with the leading oncology department in Riga, Latvia. At that time, we focused for the strength training, and by exploring, making some mistakes, gaining some outstanding results, we made conclusion. So it is an exercise strategy that incorporates two aspects that we have been mentioning a couple of times during our conversation. The 4x4 training, it's aerobic endurance training outdoors. That is our OAC signature training that we do in Riga and in Munich. And there also is a 4x4 maximal strength training. So generally speaking, that is science-based exercise strategy adapted for a cancer setting.
Thank you for clarifying. And how is it being brought to life in real-world settings?
Mm-hmm. So there are two things that we focus on. Number one is the clinical setting. There is the actual clinic. Mostly oncologists prescribe our services, and then patients can come in, and all the sessions are supervised either by physical therapists or the occupational therapist or exercise specialist, and that step by step person is guided through a structured exercise regime. And the second section is outdoor exercise sessions, outdoor physical activities, which are more community-based. They are very accessible. And I think that is the key word, this accessibility. There is no fees. It's easy to understand, and they are guided, they are supervised. So everyone is welcome, and we have a clear plan, clear structure. How do we approach? And therefore, they are safe, they're effective, and most importantly, that people come, they understand, they appreciate that, and so basically, through our actions, through our initiatives, we are the force that bring these things to the community.
Thank you for clarifying. What makes this model so different from traditional rehabilitation and physiotherapy?
Very good question, and thank you so much for the question. And the key aspect is it comes from understanding physiological mechanisms during the exercise. So it's not a big problem to create a 30-minute or 60-minute exercise session, right? There are physical activity world is enormous, and sometimes it's very confusing, especially when you go through the treatment or you have a diagnosis, a different kind of diagnosis. But you hear that you need to be more physically active and so on. So the answer is what to do. So what really gives us a result and what works the best? And knowing the fundamental exercise physiology principle. right? That great scientists have written down many years ago and still continue to prove that these things work very well. And knowing these principles and knowing the cancer from the different perspective that we have with Petra, including our personal stories, backgrounds, educations, and so on, we combining these things together, we can then see and test what gives the results, because not all the physical activity, not all the exercise provide equal benefits from the physiological perspective. And going through my scientific career, we made different mistakes also. So providing exercise strategies that didn't bring any results. So basically, patients got weaker, or they didn't increase aerobic endurance capacity, measured as maximal oxygen uptake. And learning from these situations, because it's constant learning and constant adaptations, reading scientific papers, talking with the great exercise physiologist professors, we can then create piece by piece together and complete the puzzle. So shortly, the answer is it's the fundamental principles of exercise physiology.
Thank you. How does it address both physical and mental well-being and even reduce chemo side effects?
It works brilliantly. And again, here comes this wonderful, wonderful thing as exercise physiology. And I think that is the thing what during the study programs is lacking for physical therapists and including occupational therapists, right? But the blood flow, including large muscle groups, thinking about the nervous system, how can we activate the neural drive? These are the crucial aspects that obviously give some kind of result after the exercise session in our system. So, and doing these things constantly, we can significantly change the inner environment. And of course, the main reason why we do these things and why we offer our sessions specifically to this way is that we want to maintain, we can improve physical capacities. There are two cardinal components, and surprise, surprise, they're aerobic endurance aspect and a maximal muscle strength aspect. So, and then doing exercise sessions, doing them effectively, these adaptations happen in the body. And the muscles are very, very important. And I was very happy to hear that Petra also included the strength training during her cancer recovery. And I also intuitively include the strength training. So these are the things that can impact our body at the cellular level. So, and because the cancer is all about the cells and the way they can function is important. And these aspects are very well written down, and still many great studies are coming out that's going to support these molecular mechanisms behind exercise. And also together in our team, we were conducting very important studies to try to always see more in depth what is happening. But yeah.
That is amazing. And still there is a need to raise awareness about this, because I feel like many people have no idea that this exists and it can make such a difference. Petra, before you mentioned a digital resource, Introduction to Exercise in Cancer. What is it for? How does it work? Is it for patients, healthcare professionals, fitness trainers? What is the benefit? Can you walk us through?
I think that Rūdolfs has to do. I just can mention that we developed in 2019, 2020 an OAC certified training for medical doctors, which is certified on an international level by the German Medical Association with 60 CME points. So Rūdolfs has also done this training, and now Rūdolfs, Tom, Joshua, Devin, they are working on this introduction to exercise in cancer, which for me is a more into the depth of physical activity in relation to cancer. So the floor is yours again, Rūdolfs.
Yeah, thank you. Very well said. And the OSC training is a wonderful tool for the healthcare professional to go through. You can learn a lot. Really, it's going to help to view your direction to exercise in a cancer setting a lot. Regarding introduction exercise, this introduction course that we are creating, it's about how can we explain and demonstrate our thinking. That is one thing. How do we approach to exercise in oncology setting with the practical steps, the practical application. And we mentioned the word literacy, and I think that is the key word. And as I mentioned a couple of minutes before, that exercise is a large subject, but we need to structure it down and put a fundamental things together. So this introduction exercise to cancer really goes through the step by step, and we look at exercise at a very different aspect. Now we include evolutionary thing, that exercise and the movement is part of the human. What is the history of exercise in oncology? What is exercise physiology, right? Then we briefly go through the side effects that people can face. And then how structured exercise regime, and I really like this word, structured exercise regime, how it can help. We also see molecular mechanisms. This is ongoing process. I think the scientific world just has started to identify key important factors, but they are, and they will emerge even more. And then we go and introduce in a depth the 4x4 aerobic endurance training, 4x4 maximal strength training, and how can person, cancer patient, cancer survivor, healthcare professional, and the doctor have more awareness and understanding how to practically implement these things in their life. So that is a quite comprehensive framework that we are thinking, creating right now, and it is very exciting, and I'm very happy, and I can't wait when we're gonna introduce this to the world.
Well, I hope it's soon. And speaking into the future, I would love to understand your vision and where do you see your work going? Petra, can you start, please?
Definitely, our goal is that physical activity as a structured exercise is part of the cancer treatment plan, like drugs. Because, as I said before, the results are much better. The outcomes of the treatment are better. And this is one of the goals. Another goal is that people must understand that health literacy is their job. And not only medical doctors are responsible for the outcomes of the treatment. Another thing is, but it's very personal, I think, is that we always forgot how important it is that people change their lifestyle behavior. So when it comes to physical activity, I think we also need here a step-by-step approach to also avoid in future new cancer cases. So our job at the end of the day is also to cap the curve. I think this is very important, that we can cap the curve of new cancer cases, which is a long journey we are facing at the moment, depending on the countries we are living in. So when we go to the Northern African countries. I think 2 or 3 years ago, I had a presentation in Lisbon, and the numbers were like, they have a cancer increase of 157%, which is, of course, related to early detection, but also to lack of information, also to socio-demographic things. So people are ashamed. If you go to the Arabic countries, for example, some people are, I know that people prefer to die than to talk about cancer. So we are facing a lot of things. But for me is if we have the possibility to have more influences on a German, international, European, or global level, when it comes to educate also, I'm sorry to say that, although I'm not a healthcare professional, but also the healthcare professionals, that they guide cancer survivors through their journey. Because it's also happening in Germany or in Austria, that people are telling you, go to bed and sleep during your chemotherapy. And we really have to work in this field, and me and the entire team is burning for that. And sometimes it's very hard for an NGO to be accepted in the field of research, but now we are already there. So we have collaborations with yes, I'm editor-in-chief of a scientific journal. So okay, this is one thing. The other thing is we have contracts with comprehensive cancer centers. We are invited speakers on a European and also on a global level. So I think the goal, we are approaching our goal, but it's a long journey, to be honest. And everything started with the small, tiny little step to translate science into practice. And as long as we are creating a lot of papers, and I say it, as long as scientists want to read their name on papers and not bring everything into action, we are still lacking engagement towards a healthy society. I know that this is not very attractive, what I'm saying, and you can cut it out. But at the end of the day, this is very important. And there are a lot of people out there, they are already working in this direction. Yeah, so my highly respect to all those. I listen to a lot of podcasts from you, and I'm really, I believe that this will change a lot. Thank you.
Well, I hope so. And we are here at the European School of Lifestyle Oncology. We are actively trying to create more opportunities especially for healthcare professionals, but also for other professions that are working also with cancer patients. We are actively trying to encourage them and empower them to do more and learn more about the lifestyle strategies and the lifestyle medicine. So we are doing something, and you are also doing something. So we hope for a better future in this area. Rūdolfs, what is your vision?
I agree. It's happening, and we are contributing significantly. And what started as a local initiative in Riga, and Petra did it in her place in Germany, in Munich, and where we are right now, things are developing very, very rapidly. And also from the scientific perspective, our next mission is to see how this bridge, and that is our main focus, is working, and how can we then measure the effectiveness of this transition from the clinical studies to the communities. And recently we have finished a pilot study in Riga where we tested. So basically wanted to see how do people feel after these outdoor exercise sessions, and what are the mental well-being aspects, depression aspects, and anxiety aspects. So we will continue to contribute with the research results, and we are going, and we not gonna stop, because we have this passion, we have vision, and most importantly, we know it can help. It helped us, and together with the science, with colleagues, with the team, uh, we are ready, and we are going.
Thank you. And before we close this episode, I want to ask you both for a last message for our audience. Something maybe personal.
Live your life to the fullest.
I want to say, don't be afraid. It's not easy. If you or your relatives go through the cancer story, encourage. Don't be afraid, and don't identify with that, and and think, and act towards implementing some physical activity in your weekly routine. Information is out there. A lot of information is available in our social media webpage. So the information is available. So take action.
Thank you so much. Thank you both, Petra and Rūdolfs, for sharing your vision, your insights, your expertise. It was an amazing conversation. Thank you for showing us that exercise has to be more of a part of the cancer treatment. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So